So we're going to start in a standing position. And for the first 2 sets of 20 seconds of work, it's just going to be some nice big arm circles. So you're just going to swing your arms 20 seconds, just swinging your arms in circles going in one direction. And then as you start, let it be kind of loose. So you don't have to be, stiff in your belly or stiff in your knees. Just kind of get a sense of how are your shoulders feeling. And we're just kind of bringing that blood flow and that energy to the outer edges of our limbs, and then switch directions, take your big circles and go the other way. Nice. Okay, now for the next 20 seconds, we're going to keep a bent elbow position. Palms are going to face in towards each other. You're going to scrape your elbows past your ribs and then bring your elbows right back to the ribs. Scrape your elbows past the ribs, but we want to keep that nice tight position. So really think about hugging the elbows in. And the reason I'm saying this is we're going to do a move later on down on the ground, and we want to find this again. So imagine there's a wall behind you and you're just pushing your elbows into the wall and then bringing them back in line with the ribs. But we're going to keep that spine nice and stiff when we get there. All right, next 20 seconds, all you got to do is twist. Just getting our spine involved, central nervous system on board with the work that we're doing. Five more seconds here. All right, now take it into some side bends. Just let your hands be heavy at your sides and reach towards your knee and then reach towards the other knee. So the sides of your knees, we're just letting our hands skim along the side of the thighs to find the knee. 5 more seconds here. All right, and now we're going to just take it into a little bit of a bent knee position and take it into some cat and cows. Drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tailbone, and then round your back and round your shoulders. And just take that at a pace that works good for you. And if there's ever a day that you can't make it to mix it up or to any of our classes and you're like, well, what should I do to move my body? Move your spine in all 3 directions. So we flex and extend our spine, we twist it and we side bend. And then you've got most of your work covered unless you want to cover your big joints. Okay, now for the next 30 seconds, reach up and overhead, bend your knees, reach down towards the ground, keep that nice generous bend in the knees, reach through the arms, come all the way up, and maybe the hips come forward just a little bit. Bend your knees, fold down to the ground, reach long through the fingers, come up nice and strong, and let your hips come forward. Nice. Take a few more just like that. Work it at your pace. Check in and notice how are the backs of your legs feeling. One of our moves today, we're going to use a little bit of the hamstring. So we just want to find a little bit of length through the backs of the legs. All right, and now the next time you fold over, we're going to stay there for about 30 seconds. We're just going to hang nice and heavy. So if you like, grab your elbows, soften the back of your body, soften the back of your neck. Give a little time just to find a little length through the backs of the legs and a little length in the low back. We got 10 more seconds here, just hanging out. And time. Nicely done. Come up nice and slow. Grab a set of hand weights. It's going to be a hammer curl and a side lunge. So whatever heaviness of weight is going to work good for you there. We're going to step our feet so they're about hip width distance apart. Step out to one side. And then as you come back up to center, a little hammer curl. And then we're stepping over to the other side. If it's in your range of motion, you're going to touch down to the ground, framing that foot, and then bring it up for that hammer curl. But if it feels better to keep it in a lighter position, you might choose to just step out a little bit and double up on your hammer curl. But if it feels good to do so, as you take that side lunge, you're pushing your butt down and back. Beautiful, you guys, nice work. And then we hammer curl right as we come through center. "20 seconds left. And time, nicely done. Okay, feet in a nice hip width distance apart stance. And now we're gonna move right into some bicep curls. So stick with those weights, but now the palms are gonna flip so they're facing up towards the ceiling. And we're just bending at the elbow, bringing the weights up towards the shoulders, and then bringing them down with control. Nothing fancy here, just some good old fashioned bicep curls. So if you like that heavier weight here, biceps are super strong. But if you've got anything funky going on with the elbows, a lighter weight just so you can be mindful. And then if you are working with lighter weights, but the elbow joint is in good condition, then you might want to pick up the pace just a little bit to get a couple of extra reps in. Nice work. 20 seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Okay, we're going to stick with those weights or switch to a heavier weight. We're going to take it into some loaded squats. So you're just going to load up right at the shoulders, feet about hip width distance apart. You're sitting your butt down and back, pushing into those feet to come up. You're going to try and keep a nice even distance between your knees so that your inner thighs stay engaged. Push into your feet. So find that sensation of pushing into your feet as you come up, and then see if you can feel that little bit of work right in the tops of the thighs as if you're pushing your knees down towards the ground. Nice, you guys, beautiful. You're already halfway there. Ten seconds left. You got this. And time. Nice work. Okay, next move is going to be some punches out of the shoulders. So if you need to switch to a lighter weight, take a second to grab your light weights. We're going to step our feet a little further apart. We're going to start to just punch across the body, but your knees, your hips, and your feet are going to pivot with you. So let there be a sort of looseness in your knees. And as you punch across your body, let your back heel pivot and turn with you. You go as fast or as slow as you like. If you need that little burst of cardio, you might choose to pick up the pace a little bit. But if you're working on some rehab in the shoulders, you might choose to slow it down and only extend out as far as feels good to your elbow and your shoulder. Beautiful. 15 seconds left. And time. Nice work. All right, we're going to stick with those weights, taking it into a bent elbow position. So we're going to hold that bent elbow position straight out in front of the chest. And then we're going to start to lift alternating knees. Once you've got that going on, you're going to play around with the pace of it. So we're going to keep and maintain those bent elbows. And then you might choose for a few seconds to go nice and fast. Pick up a nice fast rhythm. And then slow motion it. Pull the knee up nice and slow. And then pull the other knee up nice and slow. Nice. And then if you like, pull it up fast and pause. Pull it up fast and pause. And just play around with that rhythm. So it's not always exactly the same, but the one thing that maintains is that nice bent elbow position. Maybe you come back to going fast, find that little marching pace. Maybe go fast and hold. Go fast and hold. Go slow motion. Slow motion the other way. Nice. You got 2 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, let your arms down. Woo, shake it all out. All right, now we're going to find our way to the back end of the mat and a nice little variation here on our deadlifts, but we're going to take it into a walk. So you're going to step your right foot forward. Keep that right leg as straight as you can. Hinge from your hips, lean forward, squeeze your glutes to come up, step your foot into the middle just to find that reset. The other foot steps forward. We're going to keep that front leg straight, hinge from your waist, lift back up, and then switch. And then as you make your way to the top end of your mat, once you're all the way there, you're going to see if you can go backwards. So you'll step your foot back, but the front leg is the leg that's going to stay straight. Hinge from your waist, squeeze the glutes and come up. You step through and take it to the other side. Beautiful, nice work. And then once you found your way to the back edge of your mat, then you take it forward again. So you go as fast or as slow as feels right to you. The big thing we're shooting for here is that straight front leg, if you can manage it, only bending as far forward as feels right. So we don't want to find any zinging sensation up in the glutes. If you're going too far, you might need to keep a little bit of a bend in that front leg, just so that you're not pulling against the insertion where the hamstring meets the glutes. And time. Nicely done. Okay, set one hand weight down. This is going to be more shoulder work. So if your shoulders are mischievous, maybe a lighter weight. Stand in a nice even position, hand weight in one hand. We're going to take it from the hip across the body up towards the ear and back down. 30 seconds of work here. It's nice and easy at first, and then you're going to really start to feel it in that armpit chest muscle. And we want to try and maintain a real steady evenness. So our feet and our hips are staying as stable as you can. So the hips aren't moving, the torso is not moving. Most of your work is coming out of that shoulder and the armpit chest. When you're ready, switch hands, and we're going right over to the other side. Bringing it from the hip across to the ear. Nice. And the legs are stable and the hips are nice and stable. Beautiful, you guys. Nice work. And time. Awesome job. Okay, start by setting your weight down, and then you might choose to pick it up. We're going to step our feet to a wide position, and we're going to take our arms out at our sides. You're going to take some arm circles going down into that sumo squat, and arm circles coming up. Now, arm circles can be a lot after a little bit. So if you feel like you've already found enough work here, or you know that you will, leave the weights off. But if you want just that little extra something, grab your weights, but keep those arms turning. As you come down into your squat, drive your knees towards your pinky toes so your inner thighs are active. Nice. 10 more seconds with our arms going in this direction. Beautiful. Now reverse your circles, take them going the other way, but we're sticking with that squat up and down as we circle the arms. Ten seconds left. And time. Woo! Give your arms a little shake, shake out those legs. Grab your weights again if you want to. It's going to be a loaded half jack, and then we're going to cross the chest as well. So step one foot out, arms up and overhead, bring it in. Step the other foot out, arms up and overhead, bring it in. And then as you step out, you're going to do a little crisscross at the chest and a little crisscross. The other arm comes on tap. Once you've got that down, you're going to take it at your pace. You might choose to go a little faster. If you're using lighter weights, you might choose to go a little slower if you're using heavier weights. Pay attention to that coordination of movement so that especially when you crisscross the chest, you get to work both sides. One arm on top and then the other. Nice. If the weights become too much, put them down. If they're not quite enough, pick up some heavier weights. You know it. 20 seconds left. And time. Woo! If you're holding those weights, set them down. Give everything a good shake out. All right, we're gonna come down onto the ground into a tabletop position. So find your way down. All right, now option here to bring your weights back in. If you want that extra bit of shoulder work, it's gonna be a hovering table with a shoulder tap. So you're gonna pick your knees up and you're just touching opposite hand to opposite shoulder. But if you want that extra bit of work, keeping that hovering table position, but using your hand weights, we bump across the chest. Just be mindful that you don't injure yourself or tap too hard on the shoulder. So you want to stay in control, keeping those knees hovering off the ground, touching one shoulder and then the other. If you need to reset and put your knees down in between, take the time to do it. But we want to keep our butt fairly in line with the spine so that you're not lifting your butt a little bit higher than your head. So we just want the knees about 2 inches off the ground. Nice, you guys, beautiful. That looks wonderful. You're already halfway there. Woo, and time. Nice work. Okay, next up, it's gonna be some knee down push-ups. Now, if your push-up game is strong and you want that full upright push-up, go for it. But what I'm shooting for today for us is to find that planking position. So walk your knees back, step your hands out to the outer edges of your mat, spread your fingers nice and wide. Bend your elbows wide, keep that plank position with the spine, push your way back up nice and strong. So today we're just focusing on form, finding that nice long planking spine, reaching out through the crown of your head as you lower with control, and then push yourself back up. If that planking spine is hard for you to maintain, bring it back up into your tabletop position, keep your elbows wide, but find that long length of spine, and you're gonna find your butt is gonna tip with you just a little bit if you're maintaining that plank position. Beautiful. But if you've got it, walk your knees back just a little bit further. Keep your belly firm. You got 10 seconds left. You got this. And time. Awesome job. All right, flip it over onto your back side. We're going to take it right into some butterfly bridges. Soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and the right. 30 seconds of work here. So we're going to press the feet together, lift the hips up, lower with control. 30 seconds of work, so you can go as fast or as slow as you like. Notice here, if you feel like one side has a little bit more strength and wants to drive you up and you feel a little wobble, push between your feet, slow it down, and try to find that evenness. So you're squeezing both glutes as you come up. One more time. And now we're going to keep that butterfly position, but now bring your hands behind your head. And we're taking it right into a crunch. So we're hugging the knees towards the elbows and release. Keep the soles of the feet together, knees to the elbows, and we're crunching away. Use your abdominal muscles. Contract as you pull the knees and elbows in and release to lengthen out. Nice. Yes, that's perfect, you guys. Beautiful. 3 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, set your feet down, feet about hip width distance apart. And now we're going to take it right into some hip bridges with some arches. So you're going to lift your butt up, kick one leg up, set it down, keep the butt lifted, kick the other leg up, set it down, lower your butt. Lift your butt, kick one leg, set it down, kick the other leg, set it down, lower your hips back down to the ground. Once you've got that down, go as fast or as slow as works good for you. We want to maintain that stability. So we're squeezing those glutes in the backs of the legs to hold that single leg position. You're already halfway there. Nice work, you guys. Beautiful. Nice form, Karen. Nice. Really, 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 really great. Five seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Okay, now we're going to pick the legs up into a tabletop position. Free your hands up. And now we're going to crunch up, touch your fingers behind the backs of your thighs, sweep them upward and overhead as you let your head relax back down to the ground. Crunch up, touch behind the thighs, and then sweep the arms up. If touching behind the thighs is not available, we might not all have the same range of motion. You might just choose to touch the sides of the thighs and then reach up and overhead. But if you have that range of motion, touch behind the thighs and bring it up and overhead, or any other reach that works for you. But what we're shooting for here is to pull the abdominal muscles down as we crunch up and reach, and then find that nice big reach up and overhead as we relax the abdominal muscles. "20 seconds left. And time. Awesome job. Set your feet down. And now we're coming to that move that we talked about at the beginning of our warm up. So elbows are going to bend, fingertips are pointing up towards the ceiling, palms are facing in towards each other. We're going to start there, find the movement first, and then we'll add weights on if it feels appropriate to you. So you're going to press your elbows into the floor, and with a long planking spine, let your back lift away from the floor. So the chest is lifted, and then release back down. So that's the first part of the movement, pushing the elbows into the ground and the back lifts away from the floor. So we're using the muscles through the front of the body and the muscles in the shoulders. Once you've got that down, if you want just that little bit more, you might choose to just stay there and do that work. That might be challenging enough, but if it feels good, grab your weights, push into your elbows, find that lift, release, and then a nice close grip shoulder press up towards the ceiling. Press into the elbows, lift the back away from the floor, release, and push up towards the ceiling. Once you've got it down, you're going to go as fast or as slow as you like. If pushing the elbows into the ground, maintaining that plank spine and finding that strength through the shoulders feels challenging, stay there, slow that part down, and pay attention to the work there. But if it feels good, you've got it down, add that chest press just to find that equal and opposite reaction. So you're pushing and pulling here. Nice, you guys, beautiful. All right, that's time. Now, if you want, hold on to your weights. And we're going to take it up into some sit-ups with 4 punches. So load up at the chest, come up into a sit-up position, 4 punches across the body, lower back down with control, and you're going to take that at your pace. You're going to go as fast or as slow as works good for you. But if that twisting position is not good for your SI, if you've got any low back stuff going on, you might choose to just stay in that sit-up position and keep your punches a little bit more controlled rather than letting the torso move with you. So we're lowering back down to the ground, sit up, and then that version of the punches is the one that's going to be the best for you, making sure you keep your spine in the best possible condition for your energy level today. And time. Awesome job. Next time you come up to a seated position, come all the way up to your seat, and then we're gonna take it into our hip flexor hops. So you're gonna take one weight, stand it up, and that's just gonna give you that little point so you know what you're shooting for. But if you like, you're gonna take your other weight, bring it across the chest. And then you're gonna choose what else, which part of this helps you find it a little bit better. You might choose to pull apart on your weight or push into your weight, which is gonna just allow you to feel a little bit of activation through the back of the body. So pulling or pushing, that'll be up to you. But as you pull or push, you're gonna start those little hip flexor hops. So you're gonna hop your foot over the weight, take it out to the outer edge of your mat, and then the other foot comes across. And then you choose, does it feel better to push into the weight across your chest, or does it feel better to find that activation by pulling apart? For me, it's the pulling apart. I like the pulling apart. I can feel my shoulders broaden a little bit, my chest gets nice and active, and I find that nice tall position with my spine, but you might find that pushing works better. But what we're really shooting for here is to find that work in the hip flexors. So if you don't want to use your weights at all and you just want to pay attention to where the work is coming from, you might choose to bring your hands to your hip creases as you hop those legs over so you feel those muscles that would be where your front pockets are doing all that work. Nice, you guys, beautiful. All right, one more time each side, just even yourself out so you got both legs doing all the work. And then when you're ready, release your hold from your weight, set all of your stuff off to the side, and we're gonna finish up with some hip figure four wobbles. So step your left leg in, bring your right leg across your left, find your figure four position first, and then you're gonna slide that left leg in, and big range of motion, you're taking that figure four over to one side and then the other. 30 seconds of work here. So we're just going to keep that leg in that figure four position, just working the right side for 30 seconds. And you're going to let it go as far as feels right to you. So sometimes that knee down position does not feel good to everybody's knees. So you make sure you stay in a safe range of motion that works great for your body. Five more seconds on this side. All right, and switch. So scoot your legs out nice and long, give them a good bounce, make sure everything feels good. And we're gonna take it to the other side. So left leg is gonna come across the right, slide that right leg in into your figure four, and then away we go. Rocking it side to side, as big of a range of motion as you can, but make sure that you keep a nice safe position for your knees and your hips. I find that these figure four rocks side to side sort of walk me down to one end of my mat. So I'm constantly moving through this position. And time, nicely done. Okay, unlace those legs, send them out nice and long, give your knees a little bounce. And then we're just gonna keep a soft bend position of the knees, reach up and overhead, think about pulling the belly up and over and reach towards your toes. Does not matter if you touch your toes. Take one more breath. All right, walk yourself back up to a seated position. Now bring the soles of the feet together, knees out to the left and to the right. So you're in that butterfly position. Catch hold of your toes. And we're just gonna think about leaning the chest forward. So think about like a 45-degree angle. So not extreme, extreme. And then once you found that 45-degree angle, think about pushing into your sits bones, reaching out through the crown of your head. So we're finding that sort of planking the spine. And as you do that, just let your knees get super heavy into the ground. Action in the spine, lengthening out through the crown of the head, soften your knees. Take one more big deep breath here. Awesome. Lift back up, catch those outsides of the thighs, bring them together. We're going to come up into a standing position and just stretch our shoulders real quick before we hit our ball time. So take your left arm, bring it across the body, drop your shoulder down, and then just take a couple of good nods of the head up and down. Bring your head to neutral, release that arm, and then take that same arm, reach it up, pat yourself on the back, catch your elbow, draw the arm in just a little bit closer, but make sure you keep your ribs pulling in towards each other. Nice, and then take a gentle side bend away from that side. Beautiful, bring it back up, release that arm, give your shoulders a little shrug, and then we're taking it to the other side. Bring the right arm across the body, grab the back of the arm, shoulders down, and then nod your head up and down. Nice, and then head comes to stillness, release, pat yourself on the back, catch that elbow, give it a nice good tug, and then if it feels good to do so, side bend away. Beautiful, come up nice and slow, release that arm, give everything a good little shake. You guys are amazing. Nice work today. Woo, those elbow planks in reverse. You guys looked really great. All right.